All right. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Andy Cabasso, and I'm with Postaga. And today we are talking about how to use cold outreach to get press coverage and partnerships for your business. So a little bit about me. My name is Andy Cabasso. I'm a co-founder here at Postaga. I also manage our own internal outreach team, and we do outreach for wide variety of things from PR and podcasts to link building, sales and partnerships and affiliates and things like that. So we've done it all, seen it all, and yeah, that's just a little bit of background on myself. Before I started Postaga, I previously had a digital marketing agency that was acquired in 2016, and then before that, I was a practicing lawyer. So kind of a wide range of things I've done in my career. So today we're going to talk about a few different types of PR oriented outreach. I'm also going to talk about the elements of the outreach itself, prospecting to find the right people, pitching, lead management and tools. And then at the very end, we will do a Q&A. But I also want to make sure that this webinar is super interactive. And so I can make sure that everyone gets the most out of this. So if you, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to drop open a poll. And the poll is, are you currently doing any cold email outreach? And now it is going to open up. So feel free to give an answer, and we'll close it out in about a minute, and we'll see what everyone says. All right. And let's end the poll now. So sharing the results, looks like 36% are currently doing outreach, 45% have not, and 18% have in the past, even though they haven't now. All right, cool. Very good to know. So thanks for sharing that. And with that, let's now talk about different types of PR outreach. And what I mean by PR outreach, I mean outreach specifically for the purposes of getting, press coverage for your business or partnership opportunities, basically outreach that's geared towards promoting your brand and getting more visibility for your company. And the kinds of outreach that we're going to talk about today that are PR oriented are soliciting bloggers for product reviews, recruiting affiliates, which is big for SaaS businesses as well as e-commerce businesses, partnerships, which is really a good fit for a wide variety of people, and then podcast guesting, which can help increase your brand awareness by getting you guest spots on podcasts. And then there's journalist quotes, like help a reporter out or help a B2B writer. And I'm curious, so I can best know about the audience here, I'm going to open up another poll. Have you ever done any of these sorts of outreach campaigns? And it's going to open up now. It's multiple choice. I'm curious for everyone's experience, so please feel free. All right. And a lot of people said none of these. And so, all right, perfect. So we're going to cover maybe a lot of new ground today. And I'm going to talk about kind of each of these and what they entail. And beyond that, kind of how we do this and how we pitch it, how we kind of get this kind of result that we're looking for here. So let's talk about soliciting bloggers for reviews. With soliciting bloggers for reviews, basically the pitch is we want to find bloggers that are writing about things in our space, in particular, bloggers that are writing about products that are. Oh, hello. Sorry, one sec. Having some technical difficulty. Hello, sorry about that. Uh, Thumbs up though. Can everyone hear me okay? All right. All right. Thanks so much. Had just a little difficulty here. But so soliciting bloggers for reviews. What this basically is we are finding bloggers that are writing about other competitor products to do a write-up about your product. Different like tools that you can use. You can see who has written about products in your space using Postaga, or do competitor research using tools like, you can use Google, you can use Ahrefs to find these. And I'm just going to kind of dive into a quick demo of how this would work. And I'll use kind of Postaga as the example here. And so with Postaga, we've got a few different types of outreach campaigns to run, and this one type review outreach. Basically, I'll just take an example of, let's say, Asana, and like let's say your company is Asana, and you want to reach out to people who are reviewing competitors, competitor like ClickUp, for example. And so you throw in your website, and Postaga will find information about your brand. And with our search engine, you can find, if I search for ClickUp, I can see who has done review write-ups about ClickUp. And so basically the thought here is, since these blogs are doing write-ups about a competitor and they're interested in our market, our space, then we should maybe pitch them writing about our product, since their audience is interested in that. I can see like going through like, all right, this is a pretty good article. And this one, maybe not a great example because they've already done a write-up about Asana here. But basically with this kind of search engine, we can see who's done write-ups of these competitor products and then reach out to them. And I'll kind of show you what the workflow looks like in Postaga. First, we do the process of finding, the prospecting to find blog write-ups of these competitor products. And it doesn't have to only be competitors. It can also be reviews of complementary products or other industry related products. Like, for example, let's say that you make project management software. You might also want to find productivity software or other like work related software. I might they think about like Slack or Microsoft Teams or things like that. Anything that's kind of related to or in the wheelhouse of your brand, it is something that we should be thinking about searching for and reaching out to those kinds of sites. And in Postaga, then, like, once you say like, all right, I want to reach out to these sites, Postaga is going to try and find the most relevant people, ideally the authors of the articles, to reach out to them to pitch them. And I'll show you kind of what the pitch looks like. And so after Postaga then finds the right people, then it'll find their contact details. And then after that, and also it'll let you know, hey, you've already reached out to this person before. Maybe you don't want to reach out to them again, which is a handy thing. The next is there's an email. You'll choose an email sequence. And if you've never done an outreach campaign before, that's perfectly fine because Postaga has a ton of templates already built in. And the pitch with reviews is basically to the effect of, I'll show you what the email template looks like. It's basically, I'm from this company. I like your review article of this product. And since you did a review of this product, I wanted to see if you'd be interested in reviewing our product. And then you can have a pitch for your product and why it's relevant, and basically ask them to do a review of your product here. And so here's kind of like what the pitch looks like. It's like your review of ClickUp. And since you did a review of ClickUp, I wanted to see if you'd be interested in reviewing Asana. And the angle here is, because and this has worked pretty well, is like these blogs that have reviewed these relevant products are a perfect fit for your business because this journalist has already demonstrated their interest in your space. So it has a higher chance of success than just reaching out to random bloggers or without any kind of without any kind of strategy there. So that's kind of the angle for soliciting bloggers. Next, I want to talk about recruiting affiliates. And this is kind of one of my new favorite things. I got a question from Carlos. Please feel free to drop a question if you have in the Q&A or in the chat. Recruiting affiliates is a thing that I've seen great success with, which basically recruiting affiliates entails reaching out to people who are affiliates for competitor products or other products in your industry, finding people who are affiliates of your competitor's product, and then pitching them to be affiliates of your product. Affiliate marketers have big audiences that you can tap into. You get customers, they get commissions. It's a win-win. And using a tool like Ahrefs or SEMrush, you can find out who is an affiliate of these companies. We have a whole write-up that we've done about this at this link here, but I'm going to show you exactly how it works now. And let me dive in. So let's take Asana as an example. I'm going to go to the Site Explorer in Ahrefs, and I see here is information about Asana. I could see the backlinks, and so these are all the websites of people who are linking to Asana, and that's all great. But if I want to find people who are linking to Asana via an affiliate link, there's a certain structure for affiliate links. Like there are a finite number of affiliate marketing platforms like Burst Promoter or Partner Stack. And like First Promoter, for example, all of their links are like basically adding on to your website. Like, let's say it would be like asana.com/=FP something. And there are a handful of them. So what I do in using a tool like Ahrefs is I'm going to search for just a few different URL constructions to see if I can find an affiliate link or an affiliate link structure. And I see like something K equals, and that doesn't look like an affiliate link. ID equals, that doesn't look like an affiliate link. And over time, you kind of get to recognize these, but here's one, GSPK. That I know is an affiliate link. That is Partner Stack. So perfect. So if I search for GSPK in the target URL, I can see, all right, perfect. I can see all of these sites that are affiliate links for Asana. I can then export them to a CSV file, and then I can import them into Postaga, importing those links in the custom CSV campaign type. And then I've got all these links and then all these contacts. And basically what I've got here is a pitch to the effect of, I saw that you are an affiliate of Asana, and because I saw you're an affiliate of theirs, I wanted to see if you'd be interested in being an affiliate for our product. And the reason that this kind of general pitch works is because what we're doing here is, like, because they're an affiliate of this other product, they're interested in getting commissions and making money. And if we can, and since they're trying to target our industry, you would think it would be a no-brainer. It would absolutely make total sense for them to be an affiliate for your product as well. And, you know, reaching out to them with the pitch of, we offer this great commission rate, and I have these assets you can use if you want to write a review and just publish the review of our product and send traffic our way, it'll be a win-win. That's the very basics of kind of like how that process works, and it's super effective. We've been doing this for ourselves, as well as some customers of ours using our done for you outreach service as well, and it's just incredibly effective because it's so like, the audience that you're reaching out to here is very primed and incentivized to work with you, because affiliate marketers, their whole business model is doing write-ups of products and sending traffic and getting commissions. Next up is partnerships, and partnerships can be kind of vague or nebulous. And so what you want to really think about ahead of time is, with partnerships, is what are you looking to get out of this? You could do things like co-marketing ventures, you know, joint webinars, integration partnerships, guest blogs, or like blog post swaps or things like that. But the idea being that you want to leverage each other's audiences. Generally, you'd hope that that like the people that you're reaching out to have a larger audience than you, or a different audience than you, so that you can take advantage of that brand new audience to get in front of. Next is podcast guesting, and kind of how this all works is, you know, you get to share your expertise with your target audience, going on, you know, multiple podcasts, doing like a podcast tour. The idea is that you're going to reach out to podcast hosts and pitch them to have you on as a guest. And by having you on as a guest, you can talk about your expertise to their audience that is interested in what you have to say. But also, every time you go on a podcast, you get a backlink, which is a nice little win as well. In the show notes for the episode, they are going to most likely have a link to your website. And so that's another nice little win. And I'm going to show a demo of this kind of right now. So for podcasts, let's say I make software that's targeting marketing people. I would search for marketing related podcasts. And part of the thing for Postaga's platform is that we don't include, while you can reach out to them if you want, we try to ignore podcasts that haven't published an episode in the last 3 months, because it just might mean the podcast is inactive. There are tons of inactive podcasts out there, and so we don't want to waste anyone's time by pitching a podcast host that hasn't had an episode in months or years. And so you can kind of review any of these particular podcasts, and then from there, I'll share with you what I found to be the most effective pitch, which is to the effect of Are you open to a guest spot or interview? If so, I'd love to talk about insert topics here, and here's why this person or I would be a great fit for the podcast. These two little things make all the difference. One, having specific episode topics that are relevant to the podcast host, and two, demonstrating why you are the right person to talk about those topics is incredibly effective, because podcast hosts are often looking for new content. They're looking for new episodes because they have to keep publishing. And if you are reaching out with an episode idea that's relevant to their audience, and you can demonstrate that you have expertise, that you can speak intelligibly on this topic, then it's a win-win. And so that I found to be incredibly effective. And in the last 2 years, I've been on between 50 to 60 podcasts myself. We use Postaga every day for us as well. And so every time I go on a podcast, I always ask the host, I cold emailed you, why did you have me on your podcast? And most common response I get is, well, I get a lot of pitches to be on my podcast, but most of the pitches are bad. They are coming from people who just share with me the CV or resume and say, this person will be a great fit for your podcast. But then the podcast host has to figure out what to do with that person. And so you're making more work for them. So that's not really helpful for the podcast host. So by us coming up with topics and ideas that are relevant for them, we're doing the work for them and make it easy for them to say yes. And if you have any questions about any of these as we're going through these examples, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A, and we'll get to those at the end. All right. And the next one is journalists or help a reporter out. I saw that some people aren't familiar with help a reporter out, but basically how it works is there's this website called Help a Reporter, and how it works is people like journalists can say that they're working on an article, and they can submit these queries, and 3 times a day you'll get, if you sign up to subscribe to this, and it's free, you can get you'll get emails with these queries from these journalists. And like as an example, they'll have in these emails the questions that journalists are trying to answer, and then you can reply to these and give an answer. And then every time you do, and every time they take your answer, they'll link back to your website. And these often come from very reputable websites, like Hotjar, for example, is a very reputable, authoritative site, and you'll get a backlink from them, which is a nice get. And so it gets you mentioned in an article as an expert on a given topic. 2 platforms I recommend. One's Help a Reporter Out, and the other is called Help a B2B Writer. Similar concept as Help a Reporter Out, but it's just a little bit newer. And kind of like, here's what an example looks like. And so this is someone from Business Insider looking for a flight attendant's perspective on something. And so you could, if you think you're a good fit for it, you could submit and maybe get quoted, and great, you got a win there. So if you're doing these, here's an example that I'm sharing. I have basically a canned response that I include with all of my HARO responses. One tip is be very quick to reply. The quicker you are to reply, the more likely you get included. It's a bit saturated in terms of a lot of people subscribe to it, and so they get a lot of replies. Be thorough in your responses, and have the canned email that includes your name, title, and company, a 2-sentence bio, a link to your headshot, and your social handles. And this way, kind of, they have everything that they need so that if they take your response, they can just include it very easily. Oh, and also, of course, a link to your website. So next up, let's talk about the pitch. So writing a good pitch, I shared some examples of pitches that have worked well for us that I'd recommend you could definitely use or use as a starting point if you like, for getting reviews or podcasts or affiliates or anything like that. We have templates built into Postaga that you can absolutely use, and I found success with personally. But I have other tips if you're trying to come up with some pitches from scratch. The main thing is like uh, I feel that it feels like a bit redundant to say this, but like you need to really think about your goal, like what you're hoping to get from this. Like if you're looking to get an affiliate sign up, make sure that your call to action in your email, and there should only be one call to action, which should be to get the thing that you're looking for, that it's all oriented towards that. The next thing is think about your recipient's perspective. I talk with a lot of people every day who are using Postaga for outreach, um, people who have different levels of experience. And I've seen a lot of emails that pitches that people have created. And I think one thing that would help a lot of people ahead of time would be really thinking about from your audience's recipient's perspective, because you may think like, oh, I want to include this and this and this and this and this, but from your recipient's perspective, like, all right, this email is way too long. Like I see what they're going for here, but this isn't all relevant to me, and I have no idea who this person is. So uh, why are they including all this information? um, Really, the other thing is just be very benefit focused rather than feature focused. Um, like someone may not care if your sleep apnea machine is super quiet or whatever. They may, or that it has 1.21 gigawatts of power, but they might care about like the end result goal that they can get out of it, which is they could sleep more peacefully. um, Another thing that I found effective is if you are funny, or like use personality, because it'll help you stand out. A lot of brands, a lot of websites and journalists get pitches every single day. We certainly do. We get pitches all the time for every random thing, and a lot of people follow the same kind of structures, but the ones that stand out are ones that are more casual, informal, um, and uh, like they're much more memorable. And also be shorter rather than longer if you can be. Don't include any attachments, no PDFs, no nothing. That's if you include that kind of stuff, it's going to be bad for deliverability, especially because you're sending cold these emails with attachments. It's going to look like some sort of virus or threat. Minimize the amount of links and images. Those also not recommended, especially for cold emails. Like a link to something might be okay for a follow-up, or a link to a Calendly thing if someone like agrees to conversation with you. But otherwise, if you can, minimize that and have just one ask or call to action if you can. There are different types of calls to action you can have, from specific to open-ended or interest-based. As an example, a specific call to action would be, can we talk tomorrow at 12 p.m.? Open-ended would be, do you have time to meet this week? Or interest-based would be, are you interested in learning more? And from a study that we looked at, the more effective call to action was interest-based. While having a specific call to action can seem like more aggressive, salesy, like, can we talk tomorrow, and like, here's a specific time, it just does not get as good a response. But asking, are you interested, to which they can reply yes, helps move things forward better. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, um, um, beyond that, how to write a good pitch, read back the email and pretend that you got this email and that you receive hundreds of emails each day. Would you respond to this or would you ignore it? If you can, have a colleague read it. That's also can be helpful just to get someone else's perspective on it and someone who can be honest with you about it. Because I find, and this is also true for myself, like sometimes you can just be too close to something, and uh, it can be hard for you to have perspective on it. Besides that, in your pitch, I would have a cadence of multiple emails, like 3 to 5 emails, spaced out like every 4 to 5 business days. In general, having follow-up emails increases the likelihood that you get a response, but after a certain point, they're diminishing returns. Sending in the morning generally works better than later in the day. And absolutely A/B test your emails and your sequences to see what performs better. So have variations on everything from subject line to your pitch to see how it performs. So a bit about managing your leads, and first I want to talk about response rates. Across Postaga, the platform that the response rate that we've seen on average for PR oriented outreach is between 7.5% to 15%. And for podcast outreach, 15 to 20%. So it's a lot more for a podcast. I think just like the pitches are very effective for podcasts. And so like this is just kind of give you some barometer to see like if your campaigns are effective. That's why I'm trying to share these benchmarks really. Other types of outreach campaigns generally have lesser responses, but the PR oriented ones, from what I've seen, have overall a much better response rate. Things that affect response rate, deliverability. In general, like are your emails, reaching inboxes? And you can test this kind of by seeing what your open rate is. The average open rate that we've seen across our platform is around 40%. And so if your open rates are less than 40%, you may have a deliverability issue. Your emails may be going to spam. And so you might want to consider using a different email address or warming up an email address if you're sending out lots of volume. For prospecting, a big factor in the response rate is like, are these contacts that you're reaching out to relevant to your pitch? That'll absolutely affect your response rate. And for the pitch, is your pitch good? Like these are all the things that kind of affect what kind of response you're going to get. And is your pitch personalized to the contacts that you're reaching out to? Some common responses that we will see from outreach in general. Some people will say, all right, tell me more. Some will say, no, thanks. And all right, fair enough. Some will ask to unsubscribe and you'll remove them from your list. Some will say, all right, let me talk to this person from marketing and loop them in. PR oriented common responses, most like for podcasts in particular, the most common positive response is, here's a scheduling link. Let's have a conversation. For co-marketing, usually it's like, let's schedule a call, let's discuss. Sometimes what we see for PR oriented outreach is sites will ask for payment for some sort of sponsorship, like, all right, well, if you want a review of your product, then pay us X dollars and we will publish whatever write-up you want on our site. And others will say, I'm happy to feature a review of your product, but I don't have the time to write it. Just give me the article ready to go. And others, another common one is like, we're busy now, let's recap next month. So next up, we're going to talk about managing leads. So I recommend having some sort of scheduling app, whether it's SavvyCal or Calendly, so you can schedule conversations. If they reply, you say, "Oh yeah, I'm interested in learning more." Have a Calendly or a SavvyCal, so that people can grab a time with you at a time that works for them. And for PR or link building outreach, have your content ready in a swipe file of some sort, or like a Google Drive shared folder that has press assets like your logo or screenshots or descriptions of your product and things like that, or a link to your affiliate sign up page so people can get everything that they need. And also use a CRM. Postaga has a built-in CRM, but if you're not using Postaga's CRM, you can always use other CRMs, but I would absolutely use a CRM for managing all of these leads and conversations. Next up, tools. Tools for doing PR outreach. For prospecting, I talked a little bit about Ahrefs and SEMrush. These are very good for finding affiliates. I don't know really any other way that you could find affiliates with. For podcasts, Listen Notes, Podchaser, and SparkToro are 3 different tools that are podcast directories, basically. And you can use them to find podcasts. And then there's Postaga, which is good for podcasts, as well as getting product reviews and connecting with bloggers. For contact finding and doing the outreach and the actual CRM, that's where Postaga can help you out. And kind of from here, next steps, really. That's really been the overview of doing outreach for PR. If you haven't yet, you can join our Facebook group at Grow Together SEO. And here's the group link. So if you have any specific questions about outreach, we also do office hours once a week. It's most every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. The link is postaga.com/weekly-office-hours. And also, if you don't have time to do outreach yourself for PR, podcasts, or what have you, we also offer a done for you service, postaga.com/done-for-u. Basically, if you're interested in cold outreach for PR or anything like that, but you just don't have the time to manage it in-house, it's something that we can help out with. And for our done for you service, we can do outreach campaigns on your behalf, for your company, or for your clients if you're an agency. And we do a variety of different types of outreach campaigns that we can do for you, depending on what you're looking for, from link building to guest posting, finding affiliates, press coverage, podcast guesting, and sometimes also sales lead generation, depending on the business. So last poll of the day. I want to see, do you want us to follow up with you individually after this webinar? If so, you can just drop in the poll that's open right now. And for everyone, no matter what, after this webinar, we're going to also just share a copy of the slides and the recording and everything like that. So yeah, I'll be happy to share those. And I'll wait a few more seconds before I close this out. All right. And 3, 2, 1. Okay. So thanks for that. And next up, I'll open the floor to some Q&A. I've got a few minutes here, and so please, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A or in the chat box, and we'll answer those questions. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate all the great feedback, and I hope that you got some value out of this and got some ideas for PR-oriented outreach campaigns for your brand and your business. All right. For a new question that we got from Abby, if for a new business, not that the one that doesn't have much of an influence, does cold outreach work? Yes. So if you have a new business, really like what you're offering to these other people, these reviewers, these podcasters, is your knowledge and your expertise. So for podcasts, for example, like I was doing podcasts before I was doing podcasts before I had a product. And when I was doing podcasts when my product was in like beta stages, and I figured I reached out to podcasts that were relevant to the industry that I was looking for, and just sharing my expertise that I had to get in front of that audience. And so if you have experience in some particular area, that can be super valuable for that audience, and they're happy to have that. For reviews like and stuff like that, people are interested in new products, and so if you have a good pitch, that can be super effective. Hope that helps. Another question, is there a replay of the webinar? Yes, I will, after this is over, kind of within 24 hours, you will have an email with a copy of the webinar recording. Yep, no problem. Any other questions? But in the meantime, kind of to speak more to that, if you're a brand new company and you're trying to figure out this outreach, having being prepared is for the outreach is going to be incredibly effective. As an example, like doing affiliate outreach, where you want to get people to be affiliates for your product. If you have an affiliate program and you have assets like downloadable, like press assets or screenshots, or even like an article that you've already written up that people can leverage and use for their audience, you've made it super easy for them to pitch your product. And so if they can just sign up for your affiliate program and then take your content and share with their audience, they can start sending people your way and they can start getting commissions. For like affiliates in particular, their whole business model, like I mentioned before, is getting revenue from recommending other products. And if you have everything that they need and can make it easy for them, then it's going to be a win. Another question is, to find competitors and their information, do I need to enter my company's URL? What if I don't have a website? So in Postaga, it is, if you are doing like a review outreach campaign, it's going to ask you to enter your URL. But I guess if you don't have a website, well, I would absolutely recommend having some sort of web presence when you're pitching a reviewer, because they're going to want to look you up. And they're not going to be able to, if they can't do a write-up about your product, then what are they going to have to go on? But you could always, and I'll just kind of show a quick example here. Let's see. So let's say if you want to find, like if your goal is to find competitors or where competitors are getting write-ups, I mean, I can just enter any company. It doesn't even have to be your company. But if I want to pick a brand, I can absolutely search for a company, and it could be any company in the world. I don't know, Nike. And the search engine will find reviews of these, of really any products under this brand. With a tool like Ahrefs, you can just plug in a company's website and you can see all of their backlinks. You don't need your own website with Ahrefs. So as an example, I used ClickUp before, or Asana. For ClickUp, I can see their backlink profile. I can see all the sites that are linking to them. And so this gives me insight into what links my competitors have. And next question is, oh, gotcha. So in regards to having no website, it would be for research purposes. And yes, so yeah, you could absolutely use Postaga for research purposes and just throw in any old website before going to the next step of like looking for something, like looking for reviews of competitors' products. Next question. I like this question a lot. How to deal with rejection after all the hope and effort you put into the outreach? So I like this question a lot because like there is going to be a ton of rejection. Like I mentioned, like the response rates can be like 15% or 20% for more effect for like podcasts or something like that. And so you're going to get, some people will ignore you. They will say unsubscribe or not interested. I had one person reply to me, F you, which really hurt. So that was probably the worst. But the thing is, like, you just as just part of the course for outreach is there is going to be rejection. You're not a good fit for everybody. It's not the right timing for everybody, but outreach is, as you can see from, like, if your response rate is between 7 to 15%, it's going to be partially a numbers game. So you may get 15 responses out of 100 emails. And so it's something to be mindful of, is that it can take time. And if people aren't interested, best you could do is not take it personally. It's just either the timing isn't right, it's not a good fit for them, or they just don't have the capacity for it right now. So I would say just try not to get too invested in any one particular contact. But things that can, like, if you have like a particular website or a few websites that are like your biggest hopes, ones that you are like very invested in, the more you can personalize your pitch for them, the better. If you have if your pitches are very tailored to them and you can demonstrate your specific interest in them, that's going to help you stand out. If you're reaching out to a particular site and like you're like, all right, I really, really, really want this site to feature us. If you can these sites are getting pitches every single day, and if you can like demonstrate, like as an example, you can say like, hey, I was so excited to get in touch with I'm so excited to get in touch with you because I saw that you posted on Twitter this, and this, and I thought that was great. And like something that shows that you did your research on them will help you stand out. And whether it's seeing what they posted on social media, or a blog article that they wrote, or a guest post they did, or a podcast appearance. One actually thing that had on the receiving end of this stood out for me. Someone cold emailed me asking for a collaboration or partnership or something like that. And they mentioned in their pitch email that they heard me on a certain podcast, and they mentioned specifics that I had talked about on the podcast. And so I was thinking, wow, this person, I guess, knew they wanted to reach out to me, and they listened to a podcast episode and found something that was interesting to them and are mentioning it. That to me just went above and beyond, and that made it much. And I responded to that person because of that. So that was, I thought, really effective. All right. Any more questions? All right. So with that, then I think we're going to wrap it up for today. Following up, I will send a copy of the recording to everyone who registered and attended, and that should be getting to you in 24 hours. So thank you so much for everyone. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.